Hey everybody, it's the Modern Mountain Man Max, and today, it's been a while since I did a video here at my property in Tennessee. My wife and I are living here now. Our house is on a temporary certificate of occupancy. We're waiting on a custom handrail for a floating staircase to be built in the house, and that's taken a very long time. It's amazing, this one staircase is a 6-month project. But it'll be awesome when it's done, but it's jammed us up. But this is completely unrelated, what I'm going to do this video about. So I've built 2 ponds on our property. This pond here I built for my wife for Mother's Day and it's July 1st now, so 2 years and a quarter ago I built this pond. And it's down as you come into our property from our gate. The intention, my gate's closing, was that this would just be a pretty pond to look at. And so our driveway, actually since I'm walking this way, that's the road I had to build to get to my house. I had to build a half-mile long road just to get to this gate, so that then we could go on up this hill to where our home is. But I have gone ahead and I've had, since we had an electrical junction box here, I had recently had a transformer placed there, and now I've got a 200 amp service there, which of course I don't need 200 amps to run this gate. This gate is run by a company that makes awesome products. I'm going to plug them. It's called Ghost Controls. They normally specialize in remote gate equipment where there is no electricity, and they have solar panels that'll run this whole system. But since I went ahead and put in electricity, I don't need the solar panel. But what I do also intend to do is maybe have a guest cabin out here in the forest, so my wife's kids don't have to invade our house. I can throw them down there. But we'll also use electricity to put a bubbler in this pond. Now, this pond has never held water. Never. I originally made many mistakes because I don't build ponds. That's just the truth. So I had a standpipe there. I had a standpipe that went under the base of the dam and went into this drain hole. That was a tragic mistake, I'm certain. You never really know if it's sealed. And then later I learned, so this would actually just, if it ever got full, which it never did, it would go into the standpipe, go down, pour into here, go under this culvert, or here in Tennessee, a drain pipe is called a tile. I don't know why, but everybody calls it a tile. So this tile goes to there, and then there's another tile that goes to there. That's just local slang. Well, it turns out the only way to seal that is when it's being built, you form a concrete wall here around the pipe, the standpipe, and it makes like a solid gasket for water to not pass through. So you go down a couple of feet below the drain pipe, the standpipe, and a couple of feet above and several feet on either side. Well, I didn't know anything about that, so I assumed mine just leaked. Now, the tragedy of this story is I learned about a product called Bentonite clay. Bentonite clay is a natural substance that's taken from mines in Wyoming, and it is a naturally occurring clay that absorbs water and expands up to 30 times its size when subjected to water. So if you take bentonite clay, put it into crappy soil, and mix it around and compress it and pack it, when it gets wet, it fills all the holes and theoretically seals the leaks. Well, not for me. So I started off with, I was dealing with a company called Natural Waterscapes, and the sales guy, I told him the size of this pond, and this is a dinky little baby pond. It is 60 feet wide and 90 feet long. It's probably, we did dig it pretty deep. It's probably, when it's full, 15 feet deep. And so it never held water. It always drained right to the bottom of the standpipe. And so I bought this bentonite clay, and I bought 3 bags of it, which are 1.5 tons a piece, and had it trucked in from Wyoming. So my initial jab was $6,000, and we drained the pond, and then came in with my excavator and my track loader, and we spread the bentonite clay around with my excavator. It comes in a bag, and you open a chute on the bottom, and it starts pouring out, and you swing it around, and then we tracked it in and scratched it in with the excavator, and then we ran the tracks over it with the track loader and all that to smash it in. Nothing changed. Nothing. I put $6,000 into the ground, and nothing happened. Can you imagine what you would feel like just literally putting $6,000 in the dirt? So time passed, another year. It just kept, it would rain, it would fill up a bunch. In fact, we literally filled it to the rim one time this spring with the rains, but it always drops right back down below, way below this water line right now, and stopped at the bottom. This is probably 2 feet below where the water line is right now. At the bottom of the standpipe. And I said, the standpipe's the leak, I just know it. So we bought another bag of bentonite, $1,800 delivered. And we just put it all in right here on our dam and right around the pipe, and jammed it in and did everything we possibly could. Nothing changed, nothing. It didn't hold one more drop of water, nothing. So now I'm up to close to $8,000 in this pond I'm trying to build as a gift to my wife. You know, shoot me for being a good guy. And so when we start researching, and you know, there's liners. I'm not gonna put a plastic liner in here. I'd like to have wildlife in it. I'd like to have fish and the deer come and drink and everybody enjoy it, and frogs and creatures, and a big rubber mat in the bottom of it. That's, I probably would fill it in. One of the problems was, this is a natural basin, and so topsoil has filtered downward into this naturally occurring basin for who knows, millennia possibly. And so there wasn't real clay or red dirt. So we dug and dug until we were dropping my phone, till we were in red dirt. And then we smeared red dirt up and thought we did a good job. But in the end, this particular bank here, it was really still black dirt and just not good. So we trucked in 2 loads of really, really rich rust red clay, and we smeared that in, smashed it in, and thought we were onto something. And we tore the standpipe out, sealed up the hole and everything. Now we don't even have a spillway. We don't even care. We're just trying to get it to hold water. If it overflows the bank, I don't care right now. I'm just trying to find the leak. So we did all that. That was another couple $1,000. By the way, my $110,000 excavator and my $90,000 track loader, we're not even counting the time and effort and money and fuel and labor, and I'm just talking about the cash I spent on the junk to get this hole to hold water. Well, this didn't work either. So we were researching methods, and so we found these spray-in liners. Well, spray-in liners, that's really if you have like a koi pond, something little. And the people that sell truck bed liners come out and they spray truck bed lining into your like koi pond, and then it holds water. But that's not for large ponds, you know, or natural ponds like this. That's not what its intent is. kept researching, and I came across a product, and a couple of guys on YouTube. This product, it's called Soil Floc, S-O-I-L, Soil Floc, F-L-O-C. And there's another company that has the same product. They call Seal Leak, S-E-A-L-L-E-E-K, I believe. But this is Soil Floc. Now, Natural Waterscape sells this product too. You get 2 bags of stuff. Now, that's the biggest dose you can buy. Those 2 55-pound bags are $750. It's about 800 and some dollars delivered with taxes and stuff. But here's the difference. That stuff works. It's epic. So what it is a 2-part polymer application. And the product, for lack of a better word, it's just like sugar or salt. When you, I guess, show it to you. It's just like white sugar or salt. So I keep a couple of, I keep separate bins for it because you don't want to mix them. The way it works is crazy. I don't know who figured this out. Obviously the guy was a genius. Part A is a linear strand polymer, a stick. So you go around the pond and in the best way, a lot of people call it, feeding the chickens. So you scatter the dust. So I've watched people, they try to do it in boats and all kinds of things, and it makes horrible messes of their boat and their gear. I'll come back to that. But what happens is you take part A, you put it on the water, you come right back as fast as you can with part B, put it on top of part A. Part B is a cross-strand polymer. So basically all kinds of little wiggly worms and odd shapes. When these two touch each other in the presence of water, they begin to form a gelatinous substance. And okay, so I'm sure the eco-nuts have already gone off the radar. This is not good for the wildlife, okay? Now, I don't have fish in my ponds yet, and that's good for me. But I do have frogs and some turtles, an abundance of frogs. But so look, the truth is you are going to probably sacrifice some existing wildlife, but the goal is a magnificent place for tons of wildlife in the future. So if I have a muddy mosquito swamp, that's not ideal for wildlife, and that's not an ideal place or an objective. It's not something you want. So if I kill a few frogs this year, if I crack a few eggs to make an omelet, that's the way it is. So if you're an eco-nut, change the channel or bitch away if you want in the comments below. But I have found that my frogs somehow swim around under this, and they're okay, and the turtle's okay, and everybody's okay. So, but what happens is this stuff mixes together. I wanted to do this while we had just applied it, and you can see it on the surface. Basically, it starts forming this like gelatin is the best way to describe it. It's like a jello substance, and it mixes up. It kind of cures and sets up on the surface. And look at that. I just saw bubbles right there for the first time ever. So that was either a creature or that's a leak. But I've never seen that in 3 years. So anyway, now what'll happen in several hours is time will pass, and this substance where the water is leaking, and by the way, you actually want water, as much water as you can get, because you're looking for hydraulic pressure to push down and wherever the leak is. So when this stuff finally starts to drop into the water, it drops in and the gelatin sets on the bottom of the water. Where the leak is, say the leak's over here, the gelatin will begin to move naturally with the current of the leak, and it will drop into the leak and seal the leak. This stuff continues to expand for 3 weeks before it's like fully cured. But I have a much larger pond up in front of my house, and that pond also leaked like a sieve. And again, my mistakes in building we had a giant gradual slope. In fact, because people who have pond leaks, this video is going to be long, but it's going to be of great interest to them. So we took a natural slope, cut out of here, took that dirt, piled it over there, and made a dam, and that's how we built a bigger pond up there. It's a 1/4 acre pond. Well, where we moved the dirt, there was mulch down on the low side, a thick bed of mulch, and didn't think to, don't build ponds for a living, didn't think to scrape it to bare dirt. So we piled all this nice red dirt up and built this beautiful dam, but we had a wick, literally a wick through the base of the dam. So water would just pour out of this pond, and it barely held any water at all. I put the soil floc in there, and in one day, it began holding water. And the way we know, we went to the backside of the dam and dug out a notch where we saw it was leaking. It was wet and always wet and muddy there, always wet. We dug out, and we could just watch water drip through this layer of mulch. The soil floc oozed through the base 25 feet of the dam and started to make a shiny seal in the mulch on the backside. So pond magically began holding water. So overjoyed, I ran down here to the lower pond and applied it. Immediately the next day, the water level came up in the lower pond. So now what's happening is it's come up 2 feet. So now we've got new layers and lines of leaks. So I'm confident now with this product that we found that we will find the leaks and we'll be able to seal them as the water line and the water pressure, as the water line comes up, water pressure increases, it's going to find new leaks. But again, this product, as it seeps into the leaks, it will expand, cure, and dry over the course of 3 weeks and get bigger, harder, and more, give it more sealing pressure and more sealing property. So here's the stuff, and you go quickly, part A, and come behind as quick as you can with part B. And now what I have learned is I mark the bag real big because you don't need much for a small pond. And listen, you know, they sell it for, you know, $100 for a little bit, you know, $200 for a little bit. If you buy the $750 kit, you'll be, I'm sealing 2 good size, you know, personal ponds multiple times, so you can go back and forth. So this time I used about half of a $750 dose because I really want to try and nail this one down. You also want to apply it when it's calm, not windy, because you don't want the stuff to blow. You don't want it blowing, or the wind to blow the gel off to one bank and clear it from the surface. And also, while you're trying to apply the stuff, you don't want wind blowing it. Now, I have found it is a messy substance, and there's no way around that. So even though it's powder dry and you're dry, if it's a hot summer day and you're sweaty, the dust landing on you, you don't know it, but you are covered in slime, whether you know it or not. It is forming a gel all over your body like a slime man. So after you do this job, you want to go home, get in the shower, don't wear your best clothes, use some really crappy shoes, old socks, you know, stuff you're willing to sacrifice. What I've done is I use the same pair of socks. I just keep them with the soil floc because I know they're ruined, you know, basically ruined forever. And then when you get inside and you go take a shower after you apply this stuff, you're going to feel you're all slimy, and you know, it just rinses off water, and you got to rub it off, but it will come off. So I'm going to go, I want to show you, I'm going to pause this video, and I hope this doesn't screw up. And I'm going to run up to the no, we'll just ride. How's that? Here's the view. we're gonna go around the back. I'm gonna show you. There's my mega yacht right there. It's very cool to be able to ride on your own mega yacht on your own ultra huge body of water. Very luxurious. See, there might be deer back here, so let's watch. No deer. All right, so here's our test pit. So this is where we initially, this whole bank was always wet and muddy, and this is where we knew we had a leak. And so the base of this dam is every bit of, I'm gonna turn, every bit of 30 feet wide, maybe more. So this is our deep. In front of that rock, we have it down about 15 feet so that you could jump in. So the base of this dam, coming out here, the water was leaking all the way through the base there. And here's where I screwed up. So I had built a giant mulch wick all the way through the base of my dam. Why wouldn't you put dirt on dirt? Why you would put dirt on mulch? I don't know if we just thought, oh well, it'll crush it or it'll turn the mulch into dirt. You know, earthworms will eat it all up. Who knows what? I don't know what we were thinking, but huge mistake. So I'm up. You know, we actually have another wick at a higher level. I don't know if that's just a little localized one or not, but we used to be standing in mud and now it's bone dry. This is, you know, just dry dirt. And as a matter of fact, for a week it did go on that we would have a little puddle just right here. Oh, look at that, there's a deer track. A deer came here to get a drink because this was a little puddle. Oh, there's another deer track right there. There's one right there. So the deer were here. They would come to sip on the, and that should show the eco-nuts that the water's not toxic because the deer are still drinking the water. But now that water's even dried up. So the soil floc is expanding into the dam behind me. And it's been a week and a half, and it's supposedly it grows for 3 weeks of time. So for application, I pour, I don't have my buckets with me. We had to take some Home Depot buckets, and I fill them about a quarter full. And then I got 2 like gray painters, like quart painters buckets. And you take a little scoop and I pinch it so it makes a nozzle, a V, and I sling it like I'm feeding the chickens, and it makes it spray out and spread dust. And that's my method. I've watched bunch of people try it, and in the end, they all think they're going to outsmart it, and they come up with all these machines and sprayers and ways to propel the stuff. It ruins all the equipment, covers them in the stuff. They're gooping with gel and stuff. And the feeding the chickens method, in the end, everybody arrives at that and goes, this is the best method. Now, if you have a huge pond, you are going to have to get on something. At that point, you want the smallest, simplest, silliest thing you can find, a canoe or a flatbed, something you row, nothing with a motor, because it will coat the bottom of your boat. All the gear, oars, anything you're moving around with is all going to be covered in goop. So if you can walk around the shore, and by the way, it will float quite a distance. So if you have a 1/4 acre pond like mine, it will get out there. So anyway, soil floc, it actually works. And by the way, I do have to tell you, so I'm in southeastern Tennessee. The first thing every farmer tells you is, what you got to do is you got to get you some hogs. And I'm like, what are you talking? Well, you get you some hogs. You put up some wire and you put you some hogs inside the wire in the pond, and they stomp in the mud, and they take shit in the mud, and they stomp it all in, and it seals it up. So literally 99 out of 100 people will tell you, country people will tell you, you got to get you some hogs. Well, I'm not going for hogs and fences right now. That's a little bit beyond my scope. So being the modern mountain man Max, I have chosen the modern option of a product with a little bit of science behind it. So that's what Floc is, a 2-part polymer, and it is available. Go shopping, but Natural Waterscapes has it. I complained to them that they sold me $8,000 worth of bentonite clay, which did nothing when they could have sold me $1,500 worth of Floc and solved my problem. But live and learn. Well, anyway, my name's Max. I hope that if you watch this video, you've come to learn about Floc. You're going to believe in it, and I hope it solves your problem. If it does, please give this video, at the dead minimum, give this video a thumbs up. But I have a super thanks button, and if I've saved you tens of thousands of dollars, you better hit the super thanks button and donate some money to my channel, okay? You can donate $2, $5, or $500, I don't care. But if I had found a guy, actually I'm going to the guy's channel who saved my ass, and I'm going to give him a bunch of money because I was literally flushing money into a pond, and I hope that doesn't happen to you. So hopefully one day this will be an awesome pond, lake, and my mega yacht will be able to have much more surface area to go touring upon. So my name's Max. Thanks for watching my channel. Please give it a thumbs up, and I do have more modern Mountain Max videos. If you're building a house or starting from scratch, check those out, and I'll be back with more great content soon.